Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I am back doing a tag that I love doing. It is so much fun. I did it last year. I love watching everyone's videos, and that is the mid-year book freakout tag. So I see this all over BookTube, and I will link the original creators of this tag down below, but this is pretty much just a tag to do in the middle of the year to kind of talk about the books that you have read, the books that you want to read going forward as well. It's really fun. I really enjoy doing it, and I love watching everyone else's as well. So if you are new to my channel, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you'd like to see more from me, definitely hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icons to be notified when I post new content. But let's jump into the tag. This is gonna be a lot of fun. So the first question is the best book that I've read so far in 2021. And this one I feel like was a little bit difficult. I'm not going to be including any rereads in this, by the way. So I have done some rereads that probably would have made this list, but I'm not including any rereads on here. So the best book that I've read so far in 2021, I'm actually going to go with City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. This was a Shelf Space book club pick, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so well done. I really enjoy it. This is the first book in the Divine Cities trilogy, I think is what it is called. And this it takes place in a world where these people, this continent used to be ruled and controlled by these gods, and they protected them. They gave them all sorts of perks and made their lives pretty nice and easy for the most part. But then this island that they had kind of been ruling killed their gods and now conquered them. I really enjoyed this book a lot. I haven't continued on with the series, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to like how the series progresses, but I loved this book. It was fast-paced, it was entertaining. I really liked the characters, I liked the mystery, I liked the twists. It was so much fun. I absolutely love this book, so I would highly recommend this if you like those types of fantasies that kind of involve gods that really existed and interacted with people. This is a really good, fun one for that. Okay, so the next question is the best sequel that I have read in 2021. And for me, that is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the second book in her Poppy War trilogy, the first book being the Poppy War. And the first book, we are following Rin, who is an orphan, and she does not want to be married off, so she works and studies really hard to get into this very prestigious military academy. And I really, really loved the first book. I think the first book was probably my favorite in this whole series, but I enjoyed this one as well. It was so good. It was really well done. The war, the politics, and everything in this are great. They're exceptional. I like the magic, but I feel like this book was lacking some magic that I would like to see more of. I really liked learning more about backstories and things. I just enjoyed this sequel so much. I didn't love The Burning God, which was the conclusion to this trilogy, but I absolutely loved The Dragon Republic. Okay, so the third question is a new release that I haven't read yet, but that I would still like to. And for that, I actually already own it, so I'm really excited about that, and that is A Master of Gin by P. Djeli Clark. It came out sometime in May, and there are two novellas that come before this, which I read earlier this year, and then this, I believe, is his first full-length novel, or at least the first full-length novel in this world that he has created. This is set in Cairo, I think in the 1920s maybe? 1912, sorry, a little off. And Cairo has advanced significantly because someone broke a hole between worlds and allowed other creatures to come in, like jinn and angels and other creatures like that. And so we are following, in this book, an investigator who's part of this government task force or something along those lines to take care of these magical issues that arise. Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities. And she is an investigator in that. She's a woman, which is unusual, and she's very young, which is also unusual. So I really enjoyed the two prequels. I think the cover to this book is absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and I'm just really looking forward to continuing with this series. I really liked his writing style, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Plus, it's not really that thick. I thought it was a lot longer than this, but I mean, it's under 400 pages, so really looking forward to this. I'll probably try to fit it onto my TBR within the next couple months. Okay, question number 4 is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and for this I am going with Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson. I think my answer last year was Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, so Sanderson seems to always be the answer to this question, which makes sense because he releases his books in November. But I am really looking forward to this book. It is the 3rd book in his Skyward trilogy. Actually, I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy. I don't think this is the last book. Maybe just Skyward series. This is a YA sci-fi series that follows a girl named Spensa. She wants to be a pilot, but her father was considered a coward, and so her family is kind of shunned because of that, and it's very difficult for her to get into this pilot school, but that's her dream, and she really is drawn to the stars and wants to be a part of that and to fly. So that is the book I'm really looking forward to. The 2nd book left off on quite a cliffhanger, so I'm interested to see where we go from there. I'm very excited. I trust Brandon Sanderson. He always does really well with his continuations of series, so I am very excited for this book, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So the next question is the biggest disappointment of 2021 so far, and for me that has been Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro, and I thought I would really enjoy this book because it had some sci-fi elements, it had AIs in there. I thought it was going to be more sci-fi than it was, but it really was not. It was very much character focused and looking at emotions and how people deal with different things that they experience in their life, and I just didn't really love it. I thought it was really boring. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get invested. I thought it was kind of cute the way we were following this AI to begin with as she was learning about the world and seeing things differently, but it kind of got old for me pretty quickly and I got over it. So I actually didn't finish this book. I DNF'd it, and I really am disappointed in this. I had such high hopes for it. I thought it was going to be this great sci-fi, but it like a kind of a softer sci-fi, but I feel like the sci-fi elements in this were pretty much non-existent except for the fact that AIs existed. So yeah, I didn't love it, but I know some people absolutely loved this book. So if this sounds interesting to you, definitely pick it up because there are people out there who this is one of their favorite books of all time. So don't let me dissuade you. This is a great book. It just really let me down and it wasn't something that I loved. Okay, so the next question is my biggest surprise so far of 2021, and for me that is Monstrous by, Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. This is a graphic novel and it is gorgeous. I mean, you can just see from the cover, just the artwork is stunning. I absolutely love the artwork in this book. Woo, almost fell over backwards right there. I don't know if you could tell. But I think the story is also very interesting. It's a very in-depth world. We get really into kind of the politics of it, the magic, the wars, the different prejudices, the different religions. It is so complicated and I love it. I don't understand half the stuff that's going on, but I'm really excited to continue with this series. This girl is our main character and she is extremely powerful and important, and she's trying to figure out what happened to her mother and get revenge on the people who caused her death. So yeah, I love this. I think it's so much fun and I'm really looking forward to continuing with it. I think I'm going to be reading at least the next 2 volumes in this in June. So question 6 is a favorite new author, and for me that is going to be Michael J. Sullivan. I have been reading the Legends of the First Empire series. I think I've read the first 4 books in that series now, and I love it. It is so good. I love Michael J. Sullivan's writing style. I love how he writes characters. I think he writes good plots, good twists. He gets you really invested in these worlds, and I think something that I really enjoy about his writing style is that it is not too complex, but it's also still a very well-developed world, and you have a lot going on, but it's very palatable. You don't feel overwhelmed while you're reading his books. I love his character work. I know I've already mentioned that, but it is so good. There are so many characters in here that I love, that you can really get to know, you know their personalities, and it's just enjoyable to watch them grow and develop throughout this series. I love Michael J. Sullivan's writing style. I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series and also reading some of his other works. I know I have some of his books up here though, like Reria Revelations. I don't know if you can see them, they're right up there. And also I know he's coming out with a new series, and the first book I believe comes out in August. So I should have just finished this series and I'll be able to read the first book in that series. And I know his series come out pretty quickly as well because he says, at least in this book, that he writes the whole series first and then starts publishing them. So definitely excited about that. Excited to find a new favorite author, and especially one that has several books out so I can keep reading and also is still publishing. So very excited about this. I've said excited a million times. Probably need to cut back on that, but I love Michael J. Sullivan's writing style. You should definitely check it out. Okay, next question is newest fictional crush, and for me, I am going to go with Sigurd in City of Stairs. I don't really get fictional crushes all that much, honestly. It's not something that I really experience in books. I can love characters, but I don't really get crushes. So this is what I'm going with, but mostly I just love him. I love Sigurd. He is just this big boss guy, but he's so loyal and he's just a good guy, and I really love his character in these books. I love how awesome he is. Like, he can just pull anything off and he's so good, but you learn so much more about him and his background and who he is as a person, and you just come to love him so much after you already love him just for how he is. He's funny. He's just, I don't necessarily know how to describe Sigurd if you've never read it, but he's entertaining. He's one of my favorite parts of this book. Okay, the next question is newest favorite fictional character. I think I might have worded that wrong, but for me, I'm going with Suri from the Legends of the First Empire series. Just mentioned this book before, but I really love Suri. She is this young mystic who has lost her caretaker, who is pretty much her mother figure, her mentor figure, and she comes to the village of all these people where she had been living out in the woods, and she comes to the village to warn them of impending doom, and then she joins with them. She becomes practically part of their family. I love seeing the dynamics between Suri and the other people around her, how they bond with her, because she is just this special, sweet girl, and everyone loves her. And just her growing into who she is meant to be, who she needs to be in order to help the people that she loves, and just her bond with so many people. She just has this special way of bonding with people, and I just love her so much. She's sassy. She's so cute. I love seeing her journey through this. I mean, I feel like the book that I'm in now, she's 20, but I still feel like she's a little girl, and I just absolutely love her so much. I can't wait to see where her story goes throughout the rest of the series, and he better not kill her. I'll be so sad. Okay, question 10 is a book that made you cry, and for this, I'm going with Morningstar by Pierce Brown. I don't really cry too terribly much at books. I do sometimes. I'm not saying I don't cry at books, but this one I cried, and I can't say why, because it's the third book in a series and it was towards the end, so I feel like anything I would say would be spoilers at this point. This is a sci-fi series. The first book is Red Rising. I really am enjoying the series. I just read Iron Gold as well, so I would highly recommend these, but this one I think is the only one of the series that has made me cry so far. Next question is the book that made me happy, and for this one I'm going to go with The Haunting of Tram Car 015. This is a novella and it takes place in the same world as A Master of Jinn, which I just talked about. It's set in Cairo, and I love this book because it just had some great character dynamics in it. We are following these two investigators from that same ministry, and they are trying to investigate the haunting of this tram car. One of them is kind of a more experienced, seasoned guy. He's kind of the older, crotchetier kind of investigator man, and the new one is a younger, newer guy who's open to new ideas, but he's I don't know. It's just, their dynamic is so fun. They have kind of some fun banter going on. They clash pretty bad in their personalities, but it's in a very fun and entertaining way. It was very humorous while also kind of taking on some important social issues and having a great mystery. So I really enjoyed my time reading that book. It's very short and easy to get through, so it's easy to fit on in a readathon TBR, which is what I used it for, and I had such a great time with it. I can't wait to continue on with that series. Okay, the next question is the most beautiful book I've bought so far this year, and for this one I'm going with Master Artificer. I love the foiling. This is a sequel to Master of Sorrows, and let's just check out this book. It is gorgeous. I love it. It's so pretty. It is chunky. It's definitely longer than the first book in this series. The first one I think was 500 some pages, and this one is like 300 pages longer than the first one. It's heavy, it's hefty, but I'm really excited to read it. I love the first book in the series, Master of Sorrows. I thought it was a very interesting world, very interesting concept. The magic system was very fascinating, and I want to learn some more about that for sure. But it also took place at a school setting, which is something that I love, and it had a great wise mentor trope, which also I love. It had a chosen one trope. Love that as well. I feel like it had so many things in it that I absolutely love seeing in books. So I'm very excited to continue with this book, and it just looks so pretty. Like, I'm just gonna put it right up here so you guys can just look at it for the rest of the video if you want to. Okay, so we're actually on the last question now, and that is some books that I want to read before the end of the year. I'm gonna mention just a couple trilogies and then a standalone book. And the first book I'm going to talk about is the standalone. That is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I've been saying I'm going to read this book for years now, and I haven't done it. I really need to get around to it. It sounds interesting. It sounds like something I would really enjoy, but I just need to do it. I've been putting it off. I read part of it and just never finished. So yeah, I need to finish reading this book, and it needs to happen this year. And a trilogy that I know I am absolutely gonna love. It sounds like it's everything that I would love. The atmosphere of it, the magic, everything is the David Bad trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. The first one is City of Brass. This just is a series I can see myself enjoying so much. I could see this becoming an absolute new favorite. This could be something that I would reread over and over. I know I'm gonna love it. I don't know why I won't just read it. I mean, it's long, but I read long books. It's just over 500 pages. It's only a trilogy. It's completed. I don't know what my problem is, but this is gonna happen this year. I'm at least going to start this trilogy this year. And the last trilogy that I need to finish before the end of the year is the Second Era Mistborn. I am doing the Cosmere Unbounded read-along, and we are reading the Second Era Mistborn in the next few months. So I think it's July, August, and September. We are going to be reading that trilogy, and I'm excited because there's going to be a fourth book in that series coming out soon. So definitely looking forward to that. I want to read this series so much. I love Mistborn. I love Mistborn. It's so good. I've reread it just recently and it stands up, so I'm interested to see how this Second Era Mistborn holds up to the first. I've heard some people love it more, but most people like the original Mistborn better. I think I'm probably going to be in that camp because I hear this is kind of a Western-esque book, and I don't tend to love those. But really looking forward to it. I'm interested to see where the magic system goes from this first trilogy into the next one. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Super excited. So I have some good books that I'm looking forward to reading for the rest of the year. And that is the end of the tag. Let me know down in the comments what books you are most looking forward to reading for the rest of the year and what new releases you're looking forward to. I definitely need to get some recs on new releases. Yeah. Especially ones that are coming out a little later in the year. I feel like the summer ones we've heard about, but if you know any great ones that are coming out maybe in the fall time, let me know down in the comments. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.